Well, thanks for joining me in the kitchen once again. It is Monday evening. I've already made those, what were those things? Oh, it was National Wing Day on Monday, and I made the wings all out on the grill. But this was a lingering recipe that I've never done for you all. And it's real simple. And I don't know that there was a name for it when we were growing up. It was just boiled potatoes. But the other day on my post of a plate of food, I had called it stewed potatoes. So that's what we're gonna call it. We're gonna stew potatoes today. It's really good. It's a really good side thing. Now this is not for the people who shouldn't have the carbs, because we're gonna have the carbs, of course, in this from the potatoes. So here's what I do. I like to peel them for this recipe. Now I've told you at times that I don't mind eating the peeling on a potato. When you got a bad spot like that, you just cut it off like that. There's my discard pile. And I'm gonna cut these down into relatively smaller chunks than I normally would. Maybe like a potato salad or something like that. And I'm gonna do some smaller ones, and I'm gonna do some bigger ones. What I want to happen here with those smaller ones, I want them to just cook down to nothing. I want them to make my juice, or my broth, if you will, that is in this. So I'm gonna have some bigger pieces and some littler pieces, and there we go. I know, littler, smaller pieces would have been the correct way to say that. Throw that on in there. Yeah, we would have this on a Sunday dinner. Y'all call it Sunday dinner, Sunday lunch. We always went to Grandma's house after church, and there was a feast waiting. And we had all kinds of stuff, from meatloaf, fried chicken, roast. I've done the roast before. We'd have a ham. It usually was whatever was on sale, because obviously we're going to Grandma's and she's making for a lot of people. So when you got 15, 20 people coming over, you got to figure out how to do it pretty economically. So usually potatoes, they grew themselves. They didn't go buy them. But what I like to do for potatoes, see, now that's a bigger piece right there. What I like to do for potatoes is roughly one potato per person. And this is about a baking size potato. If I had me some new potatoes, I've used all of them in that meal that I had on Facebook for you. So I don't have any. I had to go buy these bacon taters right at the store. I didn't have time to get down the road to the farmer's market to see what they had today. But I decided to go ahead and do this. And I am doing it a little bit later. This is gonna be fine, y'all, to use tomorrow. I can just take me out a couple of potatoes, little spoonful, mix that with something else. I've got a few pork chops in there. I might fry those up, and we'll have a pork chop sandwich and some stewed potatoes. And I think it sometimes is better when it sits overnight, simply because you could do it this way too if you wanted to. Everything's just gonna marinate together. Some things are like that and some things are not, you know? So I'll do these like this. You can figure out how you want to do it yourself. It doesn't matter, it's all gonna taste the same. As I've said many times, I'm not a trained chef, so I don't know anything about those little fancy names for cuts and things. I've watched worse cooks in America, and I know Chef Ann gets on them about this with the knife and different things like that. Bad habits that we get. But that's what we do. And I know she wants her things diced evenly. Doesn't matter to me, it don't taste the same, right? Been drinking on my bone broth that I made the other day. It's really good. I'm gonna sit down here in a minute This is why I'm trying to get this done, because I wanted to post this. This is Tuesday when this is posting, in time for lunch. It's my days off. I don't get to moving too fast on my days off if I don't have to. I like to kind of rest and relax and do that. So what's next for us is we're gonna have our potatoes in there. I put in 1 onion. If it was a huge onion, I'd slice it in 2 and save the other half. Do you save the other half? I've heard people say you don't, but I do. So we'll cut that off. I just like to do mine like this. Try to keep that from getting in it because we don't want to eat that skin. So I am going to leave the onions hunked a little wider here for us. And that simply is because I don't mind seeing a little hunk of onion in this. I'm going to get that peeled too so I can just chop this at one time and not clean my board up again. So the thing that gives this the flavor, I think, is going to be the onions and the garlic. And did I say butter? Yeah, we're going to have us some butter. So I'm going to cut it in half, and I'm going to cut it just like that into slithers. About that big. Throw it on in there. So this is going to build a really rich flavor for us. And it just hit me that that bone broth would be really good as a base to go in here. Y'all want me to try it out? I normally wouldn't put like a bouillon cube or chicken broth or anything in this. I would just do it. Let me just do it the way I normally do it. And I'll try it next time with some broth like that. I let the butter and the garlic do its thing. So there we are. For this pot, I love cooking this in this pot, y'all. It's a non-stick pot. It is not an expensive pot. My hair's a mess. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just trying to get this done for y'all. I'm gonna sit down and watch the Beverly Hillbillies here coming up in about 45 minutes. Y'all like those old shows? I love those old shows. For this particular size, I'm gonna put a half a stick of butter. So there's the butter. I'm gonna put some garlic salt. There's the garlic salt, and that's going to be it. I'm gonna put, it might look like a lot, but I'm not gonna add the other salt, okay? So we'll get that garlic flavor, we'll get the salt flavor in there. And I'm gonna grind up some black pepper. You can pick how much black pepper you want for you and your family. There ought to be enough for now. Y'all know I'm gonna add more to it when I get it on the plate. Y'all know me. By the way, on that poll that I was doing on what y'all wanted me to make for you next, this was on there obviously, but it does look like we're gonna be making sausage cheddar bites. I've already got the stuff for it, and in fact, I might start that process here tonight so this can drop on Tuesday as well. I don't know when you watch it. You might watch it weeks later, you know? You say, who's that crazy nut up there cooking? Well, I'm just a little weather guy down in I started to say South Carolina, down in Tennessee. I'm just a little weather guy who decided to get on here and cook because everybody kept saying, how did you make that? I would show my plate of food that I made for dinner or something, and I just decided a video is easier. And then I've had fun with it. So, cover this. We're gonna boil this now on a medium heat because that could stick once once we get to going here. So we're just gonna keep it on put it on that back eye. I'm gonna put it on a high for first, and then I'll drop it down to a good medium heat. And I'll come back to you all when we get to boiling so you can see what's going on. And sometimes I have to add water to it, but we want our potatoes to get tender, and we want that water to be consumed by that potato juice that gets made, almost like a country potato soup, if you will. So we'll have that. I guess that's what we could call it if we wanted to, but we're not going to add the bacon and stuff like that in it. All right, so I'm going to talk to y'all later, and we'll be back. Maybe I'll go do my hair or something in the meantime. Have a good day. I just wanted to show you what's going on in my pot here. You see how it's boiling, the butter's melted, and you can see that it's no longer looking like water. It is this white thing here, and it's starting to thicken up. That's what we want it to do. That's why I'm gonna have to keep watching over it now, making sure it don't stick to the bottom of my pot. That's why I use that non-stick pot, but sometimes it gets a little sticky down there. But this is just gonna keep stewing on down. And I'm gonna let this cook for about 45 minutes to an hour. So next time you see me, we're gonna be taking it up. All right, so here we go. My stewed taters. Stewed taters. Just a warning, these are hot when you first take them off. So if you've got kids or something like that, let them cool down a little bit. You see how it's kind of potato soupish? But you can taste that butter and that garlic, the salt and the pepper from the garlic salt that we had. So this is a good little dish. I like it. Sometimes I think I like this better than a good old baked potato. Speaking of which, you could still put you some cheese on this and some sour cream. Think about what you were going to be having if you did that. But I don't need anything when it's this good except to cool it down so I can eat it faster. Get it in my belly more. All right, I finished the Beverly Hillbillies and now Green Acres is on. I'm showing y'all how I like that old stuff. Then we'll see what I can find maybe for my nightcap to go to bed. Don't have to be in a rush tonight to go to bed because I'm off again tomorrow and I'll find something to do. If you've seen that movie, the new Twisters, I might go see that tomorrow. See how that turns out. All right, we'll talk to you soon. Y'all be safe and have a great, great day.